Hello guys. All right, we're looking here at the shoulder girdle. So first let's account for all of our bones. We've got the humerus here. It's the anterior surface of the humerus. You've got your clavicle here, or your collarbone. And then we have the scapula. Again, this is the anterior view. So this is going to be the subscapular fossa. Got the superior angle, the medial border, the inferior angle. On the clavicle here we have the sternal end and then the acromial end. And the acromial end because it articulates with the acromion process of the scapula, which we'll look at in just a second. Okay, here on the humerus though, I want you to pay close attention to how the glenoid cavity or glenoid fossa articulates with the head of the humerus. You have this whole complex up here that connects these two structures together. Now on top of this ligamentous structure, you would have muscles here that also keep the head of the humerus pushed into that glenoid cavity. Those are your rotator cuff muscles. That's their whole purpose. All of these ligaments here, though, they create a capsule, a joint capsule. So I don't want you to think of each individual ligament here like individual ribbons or strings that just come apart or like pieces of individual tape. It's all connected here, and it creates this nice little capsule. You've got your synovial fluid, all kinds of stuff existing in that. On top of that glenoid cavity, you also have the labrum. And that's that squishy covering, just like in the hip joint, okay? But you need to think of how enclosed the head of the femur is in the acetabulum, how deep that structure is. In comparison, the glenoid cavity and the glenoid fossa, either or is fine. People name them both terms. This little basin here is very shallow. So you're going to have a lot more mobility, but anytime you increase the mobility, stability has to be sacrificed. So you have a lot more range of motion here, but the supportive structures are going to be all that more important to protect the joint and to make sure that you're moving safely and efficiently throughout that range of motion. So here, if we're looking at this deeper capsule here, these are going to comprise the glenohumeral ligaments. You have an inferior portion and a superior portion and an anterior portion. So you can see that little split. I'm actually going to take it off the stand for us to look at the glenohumeral. So when you're looking here, you can see these splits in the model's tissue, and that's really trying to show you inferior, anterior, superior. Okay, those three portions of the glenohumeral. And also you can see it kind of buckles down here. You've got to have some freedom there. You've got to have some extra tissue or else you wouldn't be able to lift your arm up over your head. So this is pretty realistic and it's very capsular in that way. So if we were looking at it from the anterior view, I would star all three of these and you would say glenohumeral ligaments because it's going from the glenoid cavity to the humerus. Now if we were looking at it from the posterior view, whoa, that went a little crazy. From the posterior view, you can see how I would just say capsule, okay? And it is a capsule, but here I'm trying to get at the fact that it's all a capsule. On the front, where they actually show you the separation, I'm getting at glenohumeral, okay? Same structure, they're just capsular in nature. Now these structures here on this model, you can see where they've been cut. That's actually tendons that were cut that are part of the rotator cuff. You got your biceps tendon there too, and your coracobrachialis. Biceps tendon here, coracobrachialis, sorry, would be up here, and the other biceps tendon would be up here. So there's one biceps tendon, the other one would be here, and you would also have your coracobrachialis. But those are not on this model. Now, we'll do the rest of them later.